Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to an inspiring and very interesting episode of Ignite with Sandy. As you know, Ignite with Sandy is on the Celestial platform, and we bring you interesting personalities, interesting women from all parts of the world, from different walks of life, and we share their stories, their inspirational journeys. And the whole purpose of that is for you to learn something from their stories, and perhaps it will make a difference in your life. So, this is all about work life balance and moving forward, some business tips, some life tips, some wellness tips. So, we're here to give you all of that, and the purpose is to ignite those neurons in your mind. So, today, my guest is a very good friend of mine, actually, and our friendship started a couple of years ago. So I'm this person who is always out there, what are you doing, this and that. And she's a little more on the softer side, very relaxed and whatever. And when I saw a program that she'd done many years ago, actually, I was like, yeah, I'm going to meet this lady. I have to know her. And so I rushed backstage, and she was, oh my goodness, what's happening? Who is she? So that was our first interaction, and it's just grown very beautifully over the years. And it's a lovely journey, and it has inspired me, and it has given me many thoughts, many creative ideas that I've been able to implement. And we work together as a team on some things, but she's going to share all of that with you. So, as you know, it's never me introducing my guest. I always get my guests to introduce themselves. So, I'm going to bring on this charming, creative lady who's always looking unusually dressed, always something that you can talk about. She's always doing something where you say, what's that? Tell me more about it. So let me bring her on and ask her to introduce herself. So there we have it, Miss Modupe, as I call her. So, Modupe, welcome to Ignite with Sandy. And please tell us a little bit about yourself. And more important, this fabulous project that you have just completed.
Hello, everyone. Sandy, thank you so much for that introduction. You were fabulous. I'd like to say that my name is Modupe Omonze, and I am a fabulous fashion event organizer, and I mean it. I am a wife, a mother, and I am a fan, a serious fan of sustainable fashion. So, Sandy, thank you so much for having me on your platform.
Okay, so Modupe, tell us a little bit more about this recently concluded program, because it's supposed to do with fashion and a whole lot of other very important things. So please let us know about that. Give us the details.
Okay, so I'm in the event industry and I love fashion. I started as a fashion designer, and when I came to Dubai, there was a gap in the fashion industry for emerging talents. So I had to fill that gap quickly. And one of the things that I had promised myself was to stand out, as I love to do with regards to my designs, with regards to how I dress. And so my fashion event started off with um, ideas that would champion the fashion industry, that would help encourage students and emerging talents. So we started off with I would say like a corporate responsible initiatives that really took off so quickly. We started educating students about autism, Down syndrome, incorporating that with the fashion events, and it just quickly like blossomed into something else. And we had um, a tennis champion, Venus Williams, she endorsed us, and that just grew so quickly and just became something totally different. So now, apart from the responsible initiatives that we cover during our events, we also like to let emerging talents and designers know that it's a platform for them. It's an open platform. They can inspire others, and they can also express themselves as much as they could. So
Yes,
yes.
yeah. What I've seen actually over the years is that you generally have your fashion show maybe on 2 days, and but you keep changing it anyway. But I've noticed that the number of new designers, those really trying to find their feet, not
Mhm.
knowing where to go and how to actually go about stuff. I find that you've been including a lot of those designers in your shows. So, on the one hand, you have the students, and on the other hand, you have ladies who are passionate about designing, but they really don't have that much. So, I want to ask you, why is it that you, instead of focusing on your own creations and design, why have you gone down this route about supporting others, for example, the students on the one hand? So I want you to just give us a little idea about how do you work with the students and what is it that you're giving them from the outside that is adding value to what they're already learning. I
Oh,
know that you
wonderful. I
you
love that
you
question.
actually counsel quite a few students from some big universities here. So please tell us
Yes.
about that.
Oh, I love that question because this is my passion. Um, Someone actually gave me that opportunity when I came to Dubai. So I said to myself, if someone could give me an opportunity like this, I want other people to enjoy or to benefit from what I have benefited from. So I got this opportunity and I wanted to spread the love. So I had so many students that on the first event of Runway Dubai, I had so many students come up to me and said, "Oh my goodness, this is so inspiring. How can I be part of it? How can I, you know?" And I said, "This is a platform for you. It's not for me. It's yours. So join me." And every year I would bring something different, something real, something that would challenge them, and so that they gain their confidence, so that when they go out, they can compete with anybody, in the industry. So we've had a few really difficult challenges that I have put them through. The students, I mentor them, and yes, I allow them be themselves and let them know that this is the most fabulous um, industry. You're allowed to be yourself, so that gives them that more confidence.
Yeah, I do that. The other thing that I've noticed, Madupe, in all your shows is you do have a couple of local designers, but then I find you have designers from all parts of the world. And from what I recall from some of the shows, not some, all the shows that I've attended, is you've had people as far away as the US, as far away as Fiji, I think, and some other places in Africa, in Europe, Eastern Europe. So, how do you actually reach out to these people and how do they know about your platform and what you're looking for?
I will tell you something. I love that question because even till now, it surprises me how far just word of mouth or people that have experienced Runway Dubai just want other people to experience it as well because it's totally different. There's so many fashion shows all across the world and in Dubai, especially, but Runway Dubai is not just a fashion show, it's an experience. So people that here want to be part of it. They look at what we're doing. It's totally different from every other fashion show. So it's the fact that we make it a platform for them, for anyone that wants to be creative, anyone that wants to express themselves. So that's the story behind why people, I would say, I guess, why people try to plug in and why people try to reach out and be part of the show.
All right. So, one of the things that I really found was very interesting and something which I said, wow, this is not really seen in Dubai very often. You had a designer who is a designer for plus size. And I remember this very funny incident because I spoke to her and she said that it was very difficult to get plus size models. And she said, how much, because I think her clothes started at size 14 and
Yeah,
all the models were very slim. And she said, I can't possibly show my clothes off because I
right.
need plus size people. So that was quite an amusing thing. But tell us about why you decided to bring this lady on and how did it work out for her?
That's amazing because when I look back at that incident, okay, so this designer is a plus size designer, and she reached out to me. I said, "Wow, this is something different." I'm all about body positivity. I'm all about confidence. So bring it on. So for me, plus size is, anything above what the models usually wear, like the standard model size. So I got models that were size 14 about until 16 and 18. I think I remember that. And she came to the show and she was like, the day before we normally do the fittings. And she said, "Oh no, these models are too skinny." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Um, it was tough to really get models, more plus size models at the last minute because extra models that were like size 18, 20, 22. She wanted size 22, 24. It was really hard. So she was a bit upset. But I guess communication and I had told her, these are the models that we have for now. So this is what she did. She got some guests that were plus size that really wanted to model. That was the fun part of it all because she wasn't really having it. She didn't want to have skinny models wear her designs, and I got it. During the show, the cheers. It was an amazing show because she got models that were plus size and were really confident in wearing her designs. Her designs were really colorful and just happy, simple designs that people would love to wear. And it paid off actually at the end. So she kind of inspired me as well.
Quite true. In fact, I found it really lovely because that was the first time that I had actually witnessed plus size clothing being
Yeah,
shown in a fashion show because most fashion shows, they have a certain standard and they
yeah,
have a certain template. And you seem to be expanding, not in the big way, but you seem to be expanding that template. And what I've noticed is that you're not all about gala, gala, glam, glam. There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff that goes on where you've given guidelines that you're not interested in the glam glam,
yeah,
and you're actually coming up with a combination of fabrics and all of that. And I've noticed recently that you have really gone all out on recycling and sustainability. So can you just tell us what made you do that and what are you doing to encourage people, your designers, your students, to embrace this thing so that it can be showcased on your runway?
So recycling is my thing. This is how I grew as a designer. As a young girl, I will cut up stuff and my aunt will say, "Why are you so destructive?" But when I put things together from what I've cut up, she goes, "How did that happen?" So that was my thing. So now that we've had to be responsible, especially with the fashion industry being one of the most wasteful industries right now, we I had to take up the lead role in helping students know how to save. I tell them to recycle, to be sustainable. It's so easy. Don't let people make it complicated for you. It means to save on all aspects. So saving your garments, you're being able to wear them over and over again, restyling them. That's one way. I told them different ways to save money, okay, and then also to help keep our environment less polluted through just simple things like hanging, washing your clothing, going to the laundromat, and just little things that really really help you um, contribute. That's all. So the students plugged in, and they're really excited about the initiatives that we started with, on the spot designing. Um, Fabric companies have given us like the end pieces of their fabrics. We tell them, please don't throw anything away. The students will amaze you. So we've had that with so many fabric companies donating their end pieces, the unwanted materials, and it's so fun to see what the students create on the spot.
Very true, very true. And talking about unwanted materials, clothes that are no longer in fashion, stuff that's sitting in your cupboard, you then came up with a very interesting project where you reached out not only to fashion designers, but to all your friends, me included. And you said if you have anything sitting in your closet that you haven't used and all of that, bring it to me. So I want you to tell us a little bit about what I gave you something that was just fabric, right?
Yeah.
So, what was it that came to your mind when you looked at it? Because you created the most amazing dresses for me, which I show off all the time. So, tell me a little bit, tell our audience a little bit about that.
Okay, so we started this initiative just to help students, and just to let students know that what you could do with things that are just that look like junk, and so I reached out to all my friends. I'm like, this is to inspire students. I want to start from myself. I want to start, letting students know that this is what you could do. Don't give up on trying to contribute to the environment. And um, and Sandy was one of the first people, because she's one of the champions of sustainability. I want to thank you, Sandy, for stepping up and stepping up. And and Sandy gave me a fabric that was like 20 years old, 25 years old, sitting in her closet. She brought this to me, and I said, leave this to me. So she was looking at me like, I wonder what she's going to create. And I wish you could show people what came out of the piece of fabric that you brought to me. And you wear it all the time. I'm really grateful because you've inspired so many. I saw how many views from students, from people around the world that have viewed that video of you wearing, just from a piece of fabric that has been laying down in your closet, to a fabulous red carpet garment that actually made the front cover of a magazine. So, yes.
Yeah, I think that was, and I think it's also a good example for us, who are the people who wear the clothes. And some of us, especially in the UAE, there are so many places that you go to, whether it's conferences or fashion shows or gala dinners or whatever. And I think it's a great way of making a statement, because not only is the garment fabulous, but when you talk about it and how it was created and the story behind it, I think that sort of inspires people to come up and say, yes, we can also do something like this. But I noticed that you're
Absolutely.
very much into sustainability, and
Mhm.
so much so that you even live in a sustainable city. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And your last show was in sustainable city, right? So tell me a little bit more about that, about the sustainability bit, and how you are partnering with them to spread the message, because you're using fashion, right, as a medium to communicate being more responsible.
Absolutely. Um, I approached okay, so the sustainable city, I've lived here for 7 years now. And why not? There's so much to learn about. I wanted my kids to learn a lot about saving and really contributing to a cleaner and healthier environment. So they love it. And this year, I decided to approach the sustainable city that I wanted to do a fashion show, and it was an automatic yes. Because people always wonder, okay, sustainability and fashion, how? We are excited about this. This is an interesting topic, but we want to know how. So this is where I come in. I come in to teach people how. And when they realize it's so easy. So at the Sustainable City, at the Sea Institute for Research, and it's just a new institution where people would start doing research and doing more activations on how to help the environment, how to save the environment. The COP28 is so big on that, and I just decided I would do this fashion show just before COP28 so people can learn a lot around this time. So we've had a fantastic idea to create artificial intelligence, which is really big now, um, and fuse that with sustainable fashion, which a lot of students learned a lot from. All these big names, all these big words are just something simple. You just need to simplify it for them, and they connect and they also contribute. So it was a fantastic show at the Sustainable City. I want to say, give the opportunity to say thank you to the Sustainable City for having us. But it was a huge learning experience for the students, which I'm really grateful for.
Absolutely. And I was very much part of it. And thank you for that. It was really enjoyable for me. Mutubi, I'd like to take you back in time. And, a lot of people want to know, where did Mudupe come from? Why did she start in the fashion? But uh, I was quite surprised to know what subject you got your master's in. So it wasn't fashion designing or anything connected with that. What was your master's degree? What did you
Uh,
graduate
uh,
in?
I graduated, it was a bachelor's in industrial mathematics. And I know a lot of people are like, what? But yeah.
Yeah. So going back to your childhood, uh, you wrote an article some time ago for us, and
Yeah.
you used the word platform. So can you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about what does platform mean to you, and what message it should carry for many of us? So give us a bit of that on platform.
I'll make it really simple because I remember the article was a little bit, very too much of grammar and so it was a little bit complicated. But I'll just say a platform is something that a leader needs. As a leader, you need a platform to be able to speak out and speak up and show people, your followers or your people that you want to inspire, um, what needs to be done. So a platform for me, I mean, I was very young when I would hear that word, because my father is an engineer. When he goes offshore, he always talks about a platform. But to simplify it, a platform is something. When I started Runway Dubai, I called it a platform for emerging talents, where people actually come to learn and and just be themselves. So yeah.
Well, but the platform is an important thing because that gives you a sense of purpose. It tells you, okay, this is it, and from here, how do I go? So it's a little more of a structured way of doing something. The other thing that I remember you talking about is when you came to the UAE, you had come full of ideas and full of creativity, and you were going to do a lot of stuff over here. but you found that the atmosphere was not very encompassing, it was not very welcoming. So, for a lot of people who don't know, how this thing works, could you just share a little bit about what were the challenges and some of the disappointments that you faced when you came to the UAE in regard to your fashion?
Um, I would say when I came to the UAE, I was really taken aback. I would say I had a little bit of a culture shock in the sense that um, back home or where I came from, I came in straight from America, and um, when I want to do a show, it will be just your money and the show happens. But in the UAE, it was more of structure, and a lot of laws. I'm not saying where it came from, where it was lawless, but it was simpler in the sense that if I want something, I give you the money and you get the thing, right? But when I came to the UAE, it's not just your money, it's everything else, your whole self, your identity, and everything else, and just to simplify it, yeah, so it was a bit of a culture shock. And then um, when I crossed that hurdle, I also had a little bit of a shock when I wanted to do my fashion show, the first show that I wanted to do, and I would approach sponsors, and they will go, "So who are the famous people coming? We're not sponsoring if no famous people are coming." Things like that. Really, people didn't want to know the content. It was all about the glitz and glam. So I had a lot of getting used to do when I came. So I'm used to it now, and I'm here. I'm still here.
Yes, Dubai can be a very difficult place to break into, and especially
Yeah.
when it comes to the fashion and glamour, there's
Mhm.
so much happening that unless you create your own identity, which takes
Yeah.
time, you
Mhm.
uh, you can either completely fade away, or you
Mhm.
can remain struggling and very
Mhm.
unfulfilled and
Mhm.
frustrated. And I think you found a happy medium in saying,
Mhm.
okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to make sure that I create something of my own over which I have control. And I don't give that control away to other people who are not really connected to the industry as such, but who are also important. And I think when you started on that journey, it became a bit easier for you. So
Absolutely.
if anybody is really thinking about starting out here, who's come with a lot of dreams, who's come with a lot of aspirations of yes, Dubai, the city that everybody talks about around the world, and here I am. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to give it my own. What kind of advice would you give them to sort of take a step back before they take the leap?
My advice definitely will be do your homework, uh, do a lot of studies, learn the culture, um, and start small. You can't start with a big bang here in Dubai. You have to start small and slowly, and you will definitely win that race.
Very true. So, Madupe, I want to know when you were younger, you did share with me that although you were doing all the other academic stuff, there were some extracurricular activities that were not prompted so much by mom, but more by dad. So, what were those extracurricular activities, and how has it helped you today?
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you went there. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, as teenagers, we would when we have our holidays, my dad would say, "You can't sit around at home. Sorry." and he would enroll us into one thing or the other. The sewing lessons, we'll go to the mechanics. Those we had to do stuff. We had to do something. So I remember I hated piano lessons. Piano was like, oh my goodness. But this has molded me today. It's unbelievable when I think back how I hated sewing classes and all of that. But now I'm a fabulous fashion designer. So yes, it's quite a this is a story for another podcast. So, but this is the short
Quite
version.
true. Quite.
Yeah, it's a short version. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I could not hear you for five
No, are you
minutes.
here? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So what I was saying is that all these lessons that you didn't quite like, you didn't
Yeah.
quite enjoy, right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, why do I need to do this? I could really be
Mm.
doing something else with my time. But when you think
Mm.
back on it, it has really helped you in what you do now because you know exactly how it's to be done the right way. Correct?
Absolutely.
So now, Modupe,
Absolutely.
I'd like you to share because I know that you had a couple of challenges from runway during Runway Dubai 2022, and before that, and then of course there was a time when you thought, would you be doing Runway Dubai 23? So I just
Yeah.
want you to share with us your journey with the challenges that you faced just before Runway Dubai 2022 and how did you work on that and here you are sitting smiling at us, so give us the reason I ask that. I know it's personal, but sometimes when you share a story like that you don't know how many people you will touch, so please do share.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that question. And I want to start by saying whatever you're going through, just look up and have that faith, and you will find the light that will see you through. Just hang in there. So, in 2022, August, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And yes, it hit me hard. And I decided I was not going to do Runway Dubai again because my first thought was I stressed myself out too much with my events that now I have breast cancer and I am not going to do that. I'm not going to help anyone again. I'm not going to, I went downhill with the news. For some reason, um, in less than a couple of days, I picked myself back up. I had serious challenges because of the treatment, and it was really hard on me. And I decided to still do Runway Dubai in November of 2022. It was the most challenging thing I'd ever done. I battled through it all, and it was a successful event. But I suffered, and I said at the end of the event, "This is it. I'm not doing this any longer." And you won't believe the students that came up to me, Modupe, please don't do this to us. We will help you, whatever you're going through. Please, we only have Runway Dubai to look up to. It really touched me. And I took time off, for myself. And I decided after my treatment, God willing, I will be able to do this again. I love to see the smiles on the students' faces. the people that actually are inspired and want to learn and just want to do more, not just for themselves, for the society, for the people coming below them, for just and just encouraging others, as I encourage them, they encourage others, and it's nothing is more fulfilling than that. So I decided to go on, and that was how I had approached the sustainable city. I want to do a show, a niche show, and they were so encouraging. They said, "Go ahead," and that was how it happened in 2023 as well.
Well, actually, I was there for obviously all the time that you were going through this, but I have to tell everyone that no matter what chemo did, no matter what you were going through, there was always a smile on your face. And
Oh,
yes, and what I liked about it is, a lot of women, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever. I'm in no place to make that call. But a lot of
yeah.
women feel very, what is it called? They feel very lost. They feel
Mm,
very vulnerable. They especially when you're doing chemo, and one of the side effects is, of course, that you lose your hair. And a lot of
yeah.
women feel that that's something they can't deal with. And then we have you, who was very bold and decided, okay, so if I don't want to wear a wig and I don't feel like covering my hair or my head, so be it. I'll just flaunt who I am, because I am much more than the hair on my head,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the very important and very bold statements that you made. And I do remember that during Runway Dubai 2022, you were still going through chemo, right? And so, can you tell me, because you were there backstage doing everything, what were you going through at that time, and how did you manage to pull it off?
Wow. Don't bring those emotions back. But yeah, I was going through hell, literally. But I had a smile. I had to compose myself. I had to be there for everyone that I knew was watching and trying getting inspiration. So I knew I was there as an inspiration to a lot of them. So I had to just keep it together. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you were like a robot. Actually, it's like, okay, I have this paper in my hand. You go now. You run this. You do this. All the multiple things that you were doing, and I just stood back and I looked at you and I said, "Oh my God, how is she doing it?" It's just
Yeah.
amazing. But that shows that all of us have a lot of resilience, and we actually are very strong.
Mhm.
But many of us don't
Mhm.
look deep inside to get that strength to take us forward. And that's what that is. You are a living example
Yeah.
of that. So I hope whoever's hearing that is going to be inspired that no matter what you're going through, it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
because the show
Mhm.
must go on. And for in your case, it was
The
Runway
show must go.
Dubai. But right. So the other thing, Modupe, I wanted to ask, you're wearing something very interesting. So what is it exactly
Yes.
that you're wearing?
So I am wearing this is an abaya hand crocheted by my niece. Like this is all handmade, guys. Can you see this? And she did this with a handbag. It's a full-on abaya, and I am so proud of it. She made my favorite color, purple. And I just love it. So it's best to wear it now. It's winter, and she'll be so proud to see me wearing it. But she's really talented, really creative. So I'm happy. I'm proud of her.
Good. So, coming to abayas,
Mhm.
I know that you do a lot of private mentoring for some of ladies here in the Emirates. And so, why did you start doing that, and how is that project going?
Um, I was approached. It was 2016, if I remember correctly. So I was approached by someone from the Red Crescent that works for the Red Crescent, and she also does other things with the government. And she said, "Listen, there's so many local ladies that will want to learn how to do stuff." And someone had actually told her about me. So she said, if you're interested, I'll put you on to them and you can come. It's this lovely villa where they would come to and teach them stuff. So it was literally my villa because I will walk in there and they're really there to learn different things. The challenge sometimes would be language, but you see, the love is that common language. When they saw that, I was there to show them and to teach them with all the love in my heart, we were able to understand each other. And it started growing and growing. Some could pick up some few words in English. It was fun. I picked up a few words in Arabic, and it just started growing. Um, it, I will tell you, it halted a little bit during before COVID, but we're thinking of starting back in 2024. So yes, I've mentored a lot of local ladies. Sandy, I can't hear you. Hello.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's okay. So sometimes what happens is because of the culture and other things that are sort of restrictive in a way that ladies may not be able to, go out freely or whatever. What you do is you are giving them a sense of security, you're giving them a sense of comfort, and in that atmosphere they can learn, and they learn a lot. So if it's not necessary that they have to go and flaunt their creations and be up there on stage or be in the media, etc., but you are giving them something that's fulfilling for them, which makes them feel good.
Yes,
So, coming
absolutely.
talking about the
Absolutely.
media, talking about the media and social media. When you came here, there was a lot of ways that you felt were quite challenging when you approached the media for coverage. And then you
Mm.
slowly and very gradually overcame that, and you learned some things. And now, of course, you're on a totally different level. So, can you just share? Because a lot of us are quite ignorant about this, and we get overwhelmed with a lot of bombardment of, if you want this, you have to do this, if you want this, you have to pay this, blah, blah, blah. So, can you just give us a little bit about the challenges you faced, and how did you overcome that to get to where you are on your social media presence?
So I would say coming to a place like Dubai and you plan to stay here for a while and you do not learn Arabic, shame on you. Shame on me too, because it's if you do learn a little bit of Arabic, it will help you, especially when you have a platform like Runway Dubai. Having said that, yes, I faced my challenges with not knowing how to speak the language. Um, but I had to find other channels to quickly catapult the platform onto another level. So I was so happy with my social media and my writing skills. I would do all the writing myself, and social media was another channel to actually to put my platform on another level. So when we started social media, I would do our own competitions, which will allow a lot of people get interested. It was organic reach. Reach really was a blessing to us as Runway Dubai. So that organic reach really helped us help. helped us out a lot. But having said that, the media, if you are able to crack the media here, it will be it will be a very great opportunity for your brand because um, after people had seen the exposure that I was giving to others and schools and students, that was when the media started approaching me. But at first, they were a little bit, the word is not, they were, not snobbish, but what's the word now? They were not convinced. That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I think sometimes because in most cases, when you become quite popular on social media, which you are, and it has taken you some time to get there, it was not overnight. Other people are still skeptical. Oh, she must have bought followers. She must have done this. She must have done that. Nobody is actually going behind the scenes to see how you actually got there. So you were creative. You found ways of saying, if I did this for so and so, this would happen. So you became quite holistic in your approach. And
Absolutely.
in this time, when people do something like you did it because you felt that the results would automatically come. You didn't do it with the objective of saying, oh yes, I'll do this for this because then I'll get this in return. You didn't do that. So I think that's a very important lesson to learn, that when you
Yeah,
do things in a more holistic manner, when you don't have a hidden agenda, a lot of things just flow to
mm,
you. And I think you're reaping the benefits of
absolutely.
that. So, on that very
Absolutely.
happy note, Modupe, we're going to have to end our lovely webinar. Thank you so much for being
Okay.
with us, right? And for
Thank you
always
so
being
much for
so
having
bright
me.
and beautiful, and always coming up with the most
Thank
wow
you.
outfits. And I have to find out more about that, but we'll do that later. So thank you very much. And
Yes.
I am looking forward to Runway Dubai 2024, and I hope you're going to have me
Inshallah.
on your catwalk again. Because I have to tell everybody, it's only because of Badupe where I've experienced the catwalk, and thank you very much for that. So here's another thing:
That was
when you're
fabulous.
in the
You are
fashion
fabulous.
Thank you. But here's a very important thing: is that when you're starting out on something like this, especially in the fashion world, which is so cutthroat, which is so heartless at times, and you have people who cry and say, why did you do this to me? You
Yeah.
shattered my dreams. There comes
Yeah.
along Runway Dubai, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for that,
Thank
and
you
I
so
hope we're going
much.
to be
Thank
seeing
you.
you in many more years to come, right?
Amen. Inshallah. Thank you so much, Sandy. I love your necklace. Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me on your platform. You are
Most
gorgeous.
welcome, my
Queen
darling.
Sandy.
Most welcome. God bless. So, with that, ladies, we end another very interesting conversation with a very amazing, warm hearted, generous individual, Modupe Omonze. So, there are some certain pointers that she's made, and I think it's important in wherever you are. So, it doesn't matter whether you're in the oops, talking about insurance because that's my industry, and we're talking about that at another webinar. But wherever you are, whatever you do, be holistic in your approach. Don't always look at the end result. Enjoy the journey, and always do something that would make other people happy without a hidden agenda. Because when you have the hidden agenda, the energies don't really flow to you, and you don't always get the results that you are looking for. So, on that very happy note, thank you very much for watching. God bless. Till next time.